Good morning.
TribLIVE Radio presents the Morning Sports Report with Guy Junker and Ken Laird.
And this is my wake-up show. I'll be coming at you every morning about this time, hoping to make your experience the best available in this price range.
An update and preview of everything going on in Pittsburgh sports. Now the Morning Sports Report. Trib Total Media. See what's next.
Good morning.
It's the Morning Sports Report, TribLIVE Radio, TribLIVE.com. Ken Laird, Guy Junker, about a month away from pitchers and catchers reporting. Seems like a long time guy, but it'll be here before we know it. And the Korean sensation, South Korean, Jung-ho Kang, as we find out here this morning from our Rob Beer Temple. G-H-A-N-G is the pronunciation.
Gong.
Ruins all the King Kong comparisons.
Well, he can do yakety sax, Gong Show.
The Gong Show, that's what it'll be. Jordy Mercer was asked about Jung-ho Kang, who had a press conference before leaving South Korea, and basically some shots across the bow. He'd like to play shortstop. Jordy Mercer took the high road. Do you think there will be a shortstop competition for the Pirates? Should Clint Hurdle open it up?
There's way too much invested in this guy for there not to be, unless there's a second base controversy or a third base controversy. I mean, why was he asked to begin with about playing shortstop? Was there a suggestion that he was going to play somewhere else? I mean, if he's a shortstop, then
that's his position.
That's his position anyway. So I'm not exactly sure where he fits in yet. I just know that they got over $20 million invested in him. He's fitting in somewhere.
He's supposed to be in Pittsburgh today getting a physical right across the street on the north side at PNC Park, so that's got to go well. But you're right, $16 million reportedly, and that is guaranteed.
Plus the money they had to pay just to negotiate with him, so it's over $20 million.
What have you thought of Mercer as a shortstop?
Well, he's got a great arm, accurate arm. I don't think he had one throwing error all of last year. He's the anti-Pedro. And he is lucky, though, I think. At the end of May, he wasn't doing anything at the plate. He is lucky that they stuck with him as long as they did, and good for him. He came around, and he had a strong year. I thought, 2 years ago, I thought he was just, a fill-in guy, had a pretty nice year. I would rather have seen Barmas out there, especially late in games defensively. But he made a believer out of me. Now, he's 28 years old. It's kind of late to just be coming on the scene as a regular starter. But I have no issue with the way he played or hit last year, other than the first 2 months. You'd like to see it balanced out a little more over the course of the year.
Some of these metrics, Baseball Info Solutions talks about runs saved to our Rob Beer Temple and says
9.
Yeah, 9 runs saved, 6th best in the majors. Does that strike you as accurate? His range? He doesn't flash as this, Ozzie Smith shortstop diving in the hole all the time. But You're right, he's solid.
Well, really good. Dick Grote was a guy that didn't have much range, but knew the hitters so well that really got to a lot of balls and made it look easier than it actually was, and played smart. Sometimes guys that are diving and flopping all over the place. I'm not suggesting Ozzie Smith. That's what they need to do to get to the balls. I'll take it for granted. I get kind of sick of the ultra mechanics of statistical baseball, and I know they watch every play, and that's fine. So,
but Bill Maz was your hero growing up, Mazeroski. You watched him. You know good infield play. You look at Jordy Mercer, he passes your eyeball test.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, I'm not going to argue, but I wouldn't think his range is fantastic. I think his arm is incredibly accurate, and I think his range is above average. That's just the eyeball test from watching him play. If they're going to videotape every single play the guy makes over the course of the year and come up with what they come up with, I'll believe with what they come up with.
Mercer hit 255 last year. 2 years ago, his first year really getting major playing time, 285. His peak, though, last year, 12 home runs. This Jung-ho Kang, 40 home runs in the Korean League. So if you're Clint Hurdle, I wonder, what's more important to you now? Are you looking for solid defense? Can you platoon them? Is Mercer ticked off if you're having Kang play early in games for his power potential, and then if you get a lead, you're putting Mercer in defensively? That doesn't strike me as something he'd be real
Well, you put yourself in
with
Mercer's shoes. He's 28 years old. He's busted his butt to get where he is. He finally has a solid year and a half, and now they're going to bring a guy in from Korea that nobody knows that much about. If you were he, you'd probably be ticked off too, and I wouldn't blame him for being that. If you're the Pirates and you can improve yourself, then you're going to do that too. So, I mean, it's all about competition. You can't get mad at that. Nobody's job is guaranteed from year to year.
And it was sort of a blind posting, too. So it's not like they 100% needed a shortstop. We're going out to get one. They took a chance. They had the highest bid. Maybe they were surprised by it, actually. Then, okay, we'll sign him and bring him in. But
they might have put that bid in and said, somebody will outbid us.
Yeah.
Oh, crap, we win.
They added the $15 at the end as a joke. $5,015,000 or something, wasn't it? Something odd posting number. All right, well, anyway, some good storylines developing for a month from now. Pitchers and catchers, and then infielders shortly thereafter.
I look at it more from the bigger picture, Ken, and this is good news for Pirate fans. They're thinking outside the box. They're going to places they haven't gone before to bring in talent. I have no way of judging this guy. I've seen 2 video clips of him hitting. He's a little unorthodox with his step in the bucket. A lot of Asian players play that way, and a lot of them have had success with it. There's more than one way to skin a cat. But, I hope it doesn't cause friction on the team. Competition can be good for it. It can be bad for it sometimes, and it all depends how Mercer handles it. And he handled it pretty well last year when he was hitting 198 in May.
We will be there for spring training coverage here on TribLIVE Radio. The first games at McKechnie Field, the first week of March. Ken and Guy on remote, and we'll be talking about them all through here at TribLive.com.